Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back. It's another week in the books, and here we are.
Yes. Welcome back with Jason and Tina Marie. And as you can see a little bit, my voice is not completely back.
Not completely, but it's close.
That's because Jason keeps making me holler at him.
Not at all. Not at all.
So I have been resting it. It has gotten better. It goes in and out. I think I just need to stop talking.
Yeah,
And doing a live doesn't help.
and thank you for all your concerns and all your text messages and instant messages and stuff. We appreciate that.
So I did just in case you guys are wondering. I did take a little candy to try to make sure my voice didn't get dry, and it made my tongue color. So I'm just gonna leave it
You're like a
alone.
little kid.
I am.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get started. Welcome to Friday Live
Yeah,
with
welcome,
Jason
welcome,
and Tina
welcome.
Marie.
Yes.
We have missed you guys, and I just want to say for you guys out there who decides to text or message me when you don't see us,
Yep.
I just want to let you guys know I'm gonna text and message you when I don't see you. All right.
Oh, touche.
So
touche.
I was like, I'm gonna make sure I do appreciate it. It was fantastic. I'm glad that you guys are tuning in and like, where are you? We don't see you.
Yep.
So I am glad about that. And but I am gonna let you know those Fridays that I don't see you out there, I am going to message you. All
Mm.
right. So Jason, you got everything queued up for us?
I think I don't. All right, we'll get into it right after we get back.
All right. So welcome back.
Yes, it's Friday once again.
So as always, whenever we decide to take a little break, sometimes when we come back, the equipment is like, where have you been? I'm
Right.
gonna since you guys didn't do me, I'm not gonna do you, right? So it does act up sometime. And this seems to be one of those times.
Yep.
All right, Dennis. Hey, what's going on, Dennis?
Hey,
Glad you are
Dennis.
tuning in.
Yep.
And Dennis, you are one of the ones, but last week I didn't hear from you, Dennis. But last week when because last
Well,
Friday,
sometimes when you get accustomed to people being where they normally are,
right?
and
So,
then and they're not there, then you go, wait a
What?
minute, did I
Right.
miss them? Did I
So-
miss the live?
but
I
it
mean,
wasn't Dennis last week. It
No.
was not. So Dennis, you should have hit me up last week and say, "Hey, where are you?"
But he knew you wasn't on because he
He
couldn't. He
did.
couldn't catch the replay.
And we are 6 o'clock Central. All right. So let's see, guys. We also wanted to let you guys know. Make sure you share, subscribe, and follow.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, please do.
So
This
the
is how we get the word around.
That's
so
right. Helping
please-
relationships, helping marriages. And if you're watching the live or you are watching the replay, make sure you share, subscribe, and follow. Right? Like, share, and subscribe. And you can subscribe to our channel. Where can actually let me just let Jason say where can they find us, Jason, so that they can like us, share us, and subscribe.
Sure, you can go to legendaryrelationship.com/info, and that'll give you all the places that we are. That'd be the website, all of our social media handles. So you can go there and get anything, all our podcasts, both YouTube channels, websites, all and everything. But if you just want to listen to the podcast, it's Loving Beyond the I Do, and that's anywhere you get your podcast delivered.
All right. So, all right. Thank you, Jason.
Sure.
And just like I said a couple of Fridays ago, that I wasn't going to do much talking, but it was really a
that's
close
okay.
issue. I'm going to try to not do a lot of talking today.
You're going to talk.
I am, but I'm going to try not to do a whole lot.
I just want you to be yourself, baby. That's all.
That's all I can be.
Okay. All right.
What does that mean? Be yourself.
Just
Do I
want-
talk a lot?
No,
There are no right and wrong answers.
baby. There's always a right and a wrong
See,
answer.
that starts it off right there.
Yep.
All right. So, is there anything we need to go over before we get into tonight's topic?
I don't think so. I think we could just kind of go ahead and get into it. I think we talked about all the housekeeping stuff, so you know where to find us. We're here basically every Friday. So, yep, that's it.
All right.
No.
So tonight's topic is we're talking about what people need to do.
I got to put this up in. Dennis.
Okay.
I
So
admit I talk a lot.
so
Yep.
so Dennis was saying Dennis did hit me up and he was like, "Hey, are you guys on tonight?" And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "Oh, that's right. You guys are Central. So we are 6 o'clock Central, which means that's 7 o'clock Eastern and
Mm-hmm.
all them other times,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Pacific, I think that's 4
Mm-hmm.
Pacific,
Yeah,
right?
sure. I was behind. Yep.
All right. All right. So let's get to it. Dennis, you talk a lot. So, Dennis, so when you talk a lot, does that mean you listen a lot too? Because I do listen a lot. I listen intensely.
I will say that you do listen intensely.
I listen and to remember,
Yes, you do.
and I don't do it to catch people in the lie, but I
I don't
normally do
know.
catch people in the lie.
Well, I don't know.
Like people say things
Right.
and then they'll come back and say something else, not realizing that they said something totally opposite.
Right.
And I'm like, that doesn't make like people. I think people don't listen to themselves when they talk.
A lot of people like to just talk.
All right. So anyway, we were talking about the issues of marriage and relationships, right?
Right.
And so Jason and I, as we always do, have lots of conversations with lots of people, lots of coaching, lots of conferences, whatever. And sometimes when we're at the gym or just out and about, we, for some reason, the topics of relationships and marriage come up.
Well, I think it should. Right. Well, if we're mentors and coaches, I mean, what else is for us to talk about?
I guess.
I guess.
All right. So what we realized is that we were talking about Steve Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people comment on Steve Harvey's marriage and
Right.
his relationship. At first, when he first got married,
This marriage.
his second marriage.
Right.
So when he first got remarried,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people were dogging him about the fact that he remarried.
Mm-hmm.
But now it seems like his marriage is like a pretty good marriage.
Right.
And even though we're not on the inside,
Now he's giving marital advice and relationship.
exactly.
Wrote a book about marriage.
All the things that should go on, right? And,
Right.
and you hear him on his show and on his whether it's on the show on TV or the show
Or
on the radio,
Right.
he's often given advice about marriage and relationships.
Right.
And this is the common theme. What we realize in relationships and marriage is that if it's not that he changed his wife,
Oh.
it's not that the wife changed and then the relationship became better. It's not like he found his ultimate soulmate. Now, that may be true too, but that wasn't the reason why his marriage is now different than his first one. It is because he learned from his first one. Instead of carrying baggage from the first one, he learned from it. He
Yeah.
changed from it. And so we're always talking about changing, right? We're always talking about mindset. We're always talking about being able to sit with yourself and find out why it is you keep experiencing the same thing in relationships, whether you're with this person or that person.
Right.
And so the success of his marriage is not that the second wife is better. If this is a second, I think this is a second, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't know if it's a third. So
Right.
it's not that.
It's the one that's working.
So it's not that this wife is better, or she's more educated, or she's prettier, or she's less talkative. What the heck? It's none of those things. What it is that he matured from the time he divorced his first wife until he married his second wife. And then he realized the things that didn't work, your watch. He realized the things that didn't work in his first marriage and changed it so that it could work in his second marriage.
Right, but he changed himself. This is some things about himself he changed. He became a different person.
He didn't go out looking for a different woman.
Right.
He changed, and now the person that he knew he needed to become is now showing up in his marriage, which makes his marriage show up different,
There you go.
right?
That's the thing that we might need to change. If we want a different relationship, we might need to change that.
And our issue or our point is that you don't need to change the person.
You can't
and
change
that's
the
just
person.
and that no, when I mean change the person, I mean get a second wife, get a second girlfriend, get a
Right,
you
yeah,
know,
that's not
what
going
I
to fix
mean.
it. Right.
So what I'm saying is it's not our belief is any marriage, regardless of the situation or circumstances that we go through, any marriage can be a happy, thriving marriage if we realize the things we need to do to make that marriage that way. And whether I oftentimes, right, we hear people who say, I was dating this guy for 10 years. He started dating this girl for a year and they got married. They're like, what the heck?
Right.
Right? It's not that the person changed, it's that the person that they met, they decided to change who they were so they could be something different for this next person for whatever reason.
Right.
But the change has to be something that you want. It has to be something that you see in yourself that didn't work, that's not working, that regardless that your mate has told you, right? So if we say, well, I don't know what to change, well, that's when we say sit with yourself because you know yourself better than anyone else.
Right.
So the things that people tell you, as we said, the truth is hard to digest. The truth is hard to take sometimes. But the truth of the matter is that sometimes it takes us being honest and truthful with ourselves in order to realize the things that we need to change so that the relationship now becomes the relationship that we want because we're becoming the person that we want to be in that relationship.
That's right.
We can't wait for someone else to change or the situation to change or even for the person to change.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to hand it up. So that was my talk. No, go ahead.
So I'm saying, you have to be different if you want different, right? So you can continue to have these failed relationships and marriages and blame it on whatever you think that it may be. But until you look in the mirror at yourself and say, I want something different because I've tried this doesn't work. I know the outcome because if I go in being the same person that I was in the last relationship, then I know pretty much I can dictate the outcome. Now, granted, the person is different. That's fine. But you know that these things caused issues before. So you need to, one, change your perspective. Find your, I won't say faults, but your shortcomings. Find your shortcomings and try to work on them to become a better person.
And sometimes it's not even shortcomings. Sometimes it just may be beliefs.
Yeah.
Right? So if something isn't working and it was an issue in your first or second or third relationship or even your first, second, or third marriage, if you're in a different marriage, if it was something that you truly held on to and you truly believed it, maybe we have to take a look at our beliefs,
Sure.
whether it is the belief in who we think we are,
Mm-hmm.
whether it is the belief in how something of our past really affected us,
Right.
whether it's the belief that I can't change because I've tried. Sometimes it's a belief that's so deep within us that it takes us to say, wait a minute, what is the issue?
Right.
Why haven't I changed? Right? What is going on that I'm missing the mark? So honesty is the best policy when it comes to trying to figure out what it is we need to change. But the first thing you need to change is the realization that the change has to come from you.
Yep.
And you have to be aware of where that change needs to occur. And it's maybe baby steps. Don't try to change everything at once, but at least be honest enough to have the conversation with yourself. Because people have told you about yourself. You've told yourself about yourself. And you know how you act, react, how you, if you're a person who doesn't react, that could be an issue. If you're a person who overreacts,
that could be an
issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think Dennis said something. Let me.
You just said, yeah, you might have said something, babe.
All right, so Dennis said, honestly, I don't listen to the always listen.
You gotta love that.
Right, don't listen to the always. Yep. Absolutely,
Yep,
absolutely.
that's fine. So yeah, so the things that you need to change is the things that you need to change in you.
And we could go on and on and on from different relationship to different relationship. We look at Gabrielle Union, right? And she explicitly talks about her first marriage and how she viewed it and what she thought and where does she end up? In divorce, right?
Right.
Now her views are different.
Yes.
Her belief is different. Her
Yes.
mindset is different.
Right.
She not only shifted, but she had to change in order for this marriage to be different.
I think
she couldn't go into this marriage. Go ahead.
No, I think they both had to because I think they had various different they had kind of like the same views. Everyone had issues, you know, in their previous
You mean
marriage.
her current husband,
Her current husband,
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, they
But that's still the case in point,
Right.
right? She had to change,
and he
because
had to change.
exactly,
Right.
So he had to do it on his end, and if they had came to this relationship being the same people, it probably would have ended up the same way.
Well, I'm sure
And
it
we're
would
not
have.
saying that people don't have problems. Every
Right.
marriage has problems. What we're saying is that you learn to deal with them differently, and you have different problems because you've shifted from your old way of thinking.
And I think that, you know, the willingness to work through the problems versus saying I'm out of here or I'm going to do my own thing and you do your own thing, and eventually we end up in divorce court. So if you're willing to work on it, then I think you can make it work. And I've said that before. So when your view change, your willingness to work on it changes. So everything changes. It's the attitude, it's the view, it's the compromise, it's all of those things that need to change. So you can, when you have an issue and it comes up, you can actually work through it. You're willing to work through it. You're willing to forgive. You're willing to be more loving in certain situations. So all of those things play a part.
Is that a pause or you keep going?
Does a-
Well, I know that when we talk about that, so all of those things play a part in addition to, like we said, how you look at something,
Sure.
right? So when I change as a person, something that used to bother me may not bother me anymore.
Exactly.
Things that maybe my, you know, and I often use this as an example. And if you go back and listen to some of our podcasts, I had watched a movie one time that was so impactful in me, right? You're just watching this random movie, and the first wife asks the second wife, like, hey, okay. So the first wife is talking to the second wife, and she goes, how do you deal with him leaving the top off the toothpaste and it not being squeezed at, you know, from whatever, right?
Right.
And she said it used to just drive me crazy. And then she said, the second wife goes, it doesn't bother me because he has his own tube of toothpaste and I have my own. So the
Wow.
thing was, she had a totally different perspective on it.
Right.
This is not something that bothers me because the answer to it is whatever he does and works for him with his toothpaste tube, I have mine, he has his, and however he wants to do it is fine.
Right.
Right? So it gave her, the first wife was like,
Mhm.
wow, I never thought of that.
Right.
Right.
So she probably felt like she could have still been married if
She
it wasn't for
probably
the
did. I don't know. But my point was, it just hearing that, and that wasn't even a huge part in the movie, but just hearing that gave me a perspective that was totally different when it came to seeing things from a different view.
Mhm.
Right? We're so stuck in the way we see things, and we think that's who we are
It
because
is.
we relate to it.
Right.
We relate to the things that bother us. We relate to the
Sure.
things that we think that we that make us up.
Right.
This is who
Right.
I am. Right. We
Right.
want to always defend with, well, this is who I am, and you have to take me for who I am.
Right.
But the point is that if we don't understand who we are, and we don't understand how the things in our past play a role in our present that could affect our relationship in a negative way, then we run the risk of still being with ourselves and not having the relationship that we truly want.
Right. And that's the whole thing here. We want to be able to, one, be happy with ourselves and also have the relationship that we so desire.
So people say, well, how do you get to a happy relationship? You get to a happy you.
That's the key. Say that again. If you want to get to a happy relationship, you get to a happy you.
And people think that's overstated or
It may be because you're not getting
like
it.
it's really not true. Like
Yeah.
it's really
well,
not true.
I mean, because people are not getting it. It'll be like, what do you mean? I'm happy with myself.
And so I can say from experience
Okay.
that when I'm having a bad day, right, then everything dealing with my relationship with you, the relationship with the person in the store, the relationship with my children, I mean, even the relationship with the dishes, right? And they're not even living.
Hmm.
Everything is totally different when I'm having an off day for whatever reason.
Sure.
Right? For whatever reason.
I can see that.
And when I am happy with myself, with my flaws, that when I can be honest and I understand, hey, Tina, this is something you need to work on. This is something you need to pay attention to. This is something you need to be intentional about and recognizing where you fall short, where you don't miss the mark. Not somebody else's expectation of you, but your own expectation of you.
Right.
Not someone else telling me you need to change this, you need to change that, but me really evaluating the things that I don't really think are a plus that I may believe in, that I may do, that I may experience. Your watch is reflecting.
Okay.
So when I take an honest look at myself and I'm having a bad day, I do notice the snowball effect.
Sure.
You know, my daughter may walk in and then she does something
And then
minute, and
it's
I'm just
something.
like,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So
I think that's everybody, right? So like how people say your day started off on the wrong foot, right? I got out on the wrong side of the bed, but somewhere along the way, we have to be able to stop and right the ship. So if we can change and reverse course, then we can change our day.
and the key in that is change. So the
Right.
whole point in this is that if we change, if we change the way we view
Mm-hmm.
our relationship,
There you go.
if we change the way we view the things that we think are right in our relationship,
Right.
if we change our behaviors to the common themes, the common problems, the common issues that constantly keep coming up, if we change those things, right? So Jason and I are gonna keep arguing over the same thing, a different day, a different temperament, but we're still arguing over the same thing. Unless I change, unless I decide that I need to change, let's just say change course, right?
Yep.
Change my view, change my perspective. Let me sit in his seat and see where he's seeing it and see where my view may be skewed because I'm into my feelings. I'm into being right. I'm into proving you're wrong. So let me now push all that aside. And when I can do that, when I become a happy person and see things differently, then and only then am I able to change the relationship that I currently have. And so when we say do this, right, what you need to do is take inventory
Right.
of the rotten stuff.
Ooh.
Right? We need to take inventory of the things that have now reached their expiration in your relationship and in your life. Because when you're not happy at home, you can pretend if you are at home,
Mm-hmm.
which means you are in a relationship and you all live together. When things are not right at home, you can tell outside the home. I don't care how much you try to camouflage it, how much you try to pretend, it's going to affect you in some way or another. And if you get to where you're going and you get happy and you get that phone call from home, your whole demeanor is going to change. When things are not right in your relationship, it's going to reflect in your entire experiences. All right? So when we talk about things that you need to do and you need to change it, you need to be the happy person.
Yes.
You need to be the person taking inventory. You need to be the person that's looking at the expiration dates on the things that no longer serve you. These are the things that you need to write down because you know what? One thing we always talk about journals.
Right.
We always talk about writing it down.
Mm-hmm.
The mind is a terrible thing to waste. And even though the mind works and I'm definitely a person that says keep working your mind, keep working your mind, keep working your mind. Don't stop. But also, if you don't write things down,
You're gonna forget.
you will forget the things that you said. Maybe I need to rethink that.
Or you'll miss the importance of what it is that you wanted to accomplish if you don't write it down. You may remember like, oh, I said I was gonna do this, but when you write it down and because you have a little extra, you say, well, I want to do this, and then you go ahead and you say something else. But then if you don't write it down, you're just trying to recall it, you'll go, oh, yeah, I said I was going to do this. So you miss the whole essence of what you were feeling at the time when you thought it. And that's what you have to get back to. You have to get back to that feeling that you had at that moment. And that's why writing it down helps because it takes you back to that essence in time when you first had that feeling along with that thought.
All right, let's read Dennis's comment.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Honestly.
All right, sorry.
Okay.
I'm honestly here today because
I have committed
to being real about myself, and I am focused on being the best
version of myself moving forward. These last few months, these last months, I have seen
changes in myself, and I didn't really put my focus on myself first. I focused on what I thought was more important, my partner, and I pushed them away, but that's okay. I'm focused on myself first for whatever or whoever is in my future, even if I'm to enjoy my own company. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Way to go. Well, definitely for that. Let's read the next thing. Up one. Yep. All right. So let's see what Dennis says. Thank you, Dennis, for your comments. Change is scary and
Yes, it
seems like
is.
I'm not being myself. It's scary recognizing myself for the first time.
Whoa. Yeah, it is.
So, Jason, did you put that book in Dennis's thing?
I did not, but I need to put it in there.
All
I
right, Dennis,
promise I will put that book in your send it to
so
you messenger.
let's go to this next comment. Thank you for your comments, Dennis. We truly do appreciate them. And I have a thing I'm looking around, so that's why I can't see it. The podcast June 9th was a revelation, and I communicated to deaf ears. But looking in the mirror, I had to say to myself, I can change what someone else doesn't want about me.
Yes.
But I honestly don't need to do it for them. No.
No.
If I don't change certain behaviors for myself first and for a better me, it's going to come is something else. All right. All right.
But yeah, that's true. You have to do that. If
Yes.
you don't,
Okay.
because if you do it for someone else, it's not going to stick.
If you're doing it for someone else, then you're not believing that this is something you need to change, and you're
Right,
trying to pacify someone else,
Right.
and agree it's not going to stick. You totally agree with that.
right.
Exactly.
So you have to do it for you because it's going to mean more.
Yes. Yes. It's not necessary. So yes, it's going to mean more, but it's going to create a domino effect of change all in your life.
Right.
And then you're going to be able to see things differently than you weren't able to see before, right? So we're always talking about really being a change agent in your life differently than you were before. And as you said, Dennis, you can't change for someone else because someone's expectations of you're trying to live up to, and that's not the point of change.
No.
I can't live up to someone else's expectations of me, but I can take into consideration what they're telling me, and then I can evaluate it against my beliefs, myself, and then I can take a moment in time, right? However much time I need to say, let me look at this deeper. Let me now sit from a different view. So
Yeah.
right, and that's why we say look in the mirror.
Right.
And so Jason said he didn't put that book in the thing, but Dennis, I'm just gonna hold up again because it just happens to be right here on Jason's little podcast table in our studio, and so it's called Mirror Works, and it's a 21-day self-love experience, and I'm reading it off the thing, and it's from Coach Greta. Her name is Greta Counts, and this book is so vitally important because it helps us to love the person we are,
Yes.
but also change the person that is still holding on to the past.
And accept yourself for all of your shortcomings in the past and forgive yourself for if you're not happy for the person that you are now. So it's a forgiveness, it's a moving forward, it's a love yourself, it's a aha moment, it's all in one. It's everything wrapped in one. But it's only for you. Right, this is
Yeah.
you on you,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you're talking to yourself and you're forgiving yourself and,
And
you're
you're
loving
forgiving other
yourself.
people. And you're forgiving
Right,
other
in the
people. You're forgiving
process,
everything.
But the first person you have to forgive is yourself. So once you forgive yourself and you're okay with it and you start to open up, then you can find that it's so much more of you to love, and you have so much love to give.
And it makes me connect back to when we first started the conversation. I was saying people when they come into a different relationship and then it becomes successful is because they've changed something.
Mm-hmm.
They've changed something about themselves, right? And they now see things different, whether it is now they love themselves better. Now they appreciate themselves better. Now they see that the things they used to do didn't work because they were being selfish or they were being, whatever it was. However, they have shifted their perspective and they've changed the things within them that they needed to change. And most of the time, they get to a point where they're loving themselves. They're forgiving themselves for past hurts. They're forgiving themselves for the things that they did to other people as well as what other people did to them. They're now changing in a manner where love can heal, right? And so this book is about understanding that if we go back to April 20th, April 20th, April 21st, so I had her on and she said, what we need to realize is that she says this, but I guess it's all in the same. There's nothing to change. There's nothing that you need to change. You just need to love. And I
Right.
think I'm quoting that wrong, but
Yeah, it's
there's
something like that.
nothing that you need to change. You just need to love.
It's
Or
something that needs to be
something along that
revealed or
line.
something like that.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. It's about love.
Love. Okay.
She's like, you need to love yourself.
Right.
And when you love yourself, you do change, right? When you learn to love yourself for who you are, you change the way you see you.
Yep.
You change the way you see others. You change the way you react to. Yep, there I go. I'm talking too much.
Mm-hmm.
You change the way you react to different situations.
Oh, I think all situations, anything that pertains to you,
Absolutely.
you react differently because you are different.
All right, let's take this comment.
Okay. Yep. Nancy's in the house.
Hey, Nancy, thanks for joining us. For me, looking at change as a change of the negative, unwanted was a struggle.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But now I look at change as making me better,
Yep.
making me happier,
Yep.
and making me the best me ever. And I am excited to do it.
And see,
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for sharing that.
and you know what? That's the key. It's not a negative thing about you, and that's what we were trying to get
so
at.
let's read that up again. So did
Okay.
she say she looked at it as
A
changing
negative,
from-
as
Okay,
a negative
So
vibe.
for me, looking at change as a change of the negative, unwanted,
Right.
was a struggle.
Right,
All right, all
right.
right, all right, all right. So if Nancy, if you can chime in, if I'm not saying this right, so you're saying when you took inventory of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right, and you said, "Wow, I need to change the negative things about me," instead of focusing on it that way. How did you start changing, and how are you now at a point where you realize it's happier? Like I'm looking at your words, and I want you to tell me how you view it now. How do you view your change? What is the difference where it went from a struggle to now it's look at you're excited and you're ready for it?
Right.
If-
Because if you make the change, it's who's the benefit? Who's the beneficiary? You are.
Yeah.
You become a better person. You know how to love, you know how to care, you know how to communicate, you know how to feel, you know how to express your feelings. So you're the byproduct of all this change. So yeah, I can get what Nancy was saying about you looking at it from a negative thing, because normally we need to change something that's negative so it could become positive. But really, I want to change myself so I could just show really who I am. I can want to be able to express the best version of myself. Not saying I'm a bad person. I just want to be able to dig deep and express the real person of who I am.
I think Nancy really captured it for me, because maybe I was not expressing it that way, but that really, I want to compound on that. So in me being able to change myself, when I said, okay, I needed to look at myself and realize, like when Jason and I were kept arguing over the same things
Mm-hmm.
and coming up with the same scenario over and over and over again, and then it gets to be a burden where, like as Dennis said, you're speaking to your blue in the face, but it's falling on deaf ears, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whether your mate is speaking to you or you're speaking to your mate, it's going nowhere. It's going nowhere. But it took not for me to say it's a struggle, but it took me to say, these are the things that I need, that I know that are not working for me, right?
Right.
But I want to become a better person. So I'm going to start doing the things. I'm going to start doing some things, right? I'm not going to necessarily focus on the negative because it seems like a struggle, but I'm going to start doing more of the things that I know is going to make me happy. And therefore, it's going to help me shift my perspective, right? Reading books, getting coaching, taking seminars, understanding about marriage, understanding about how, we communicate as people, understanding our past, how we weren't taught how to communicate, right? How we weren't taught how to love ourselves, right? I used to think that, people used to always say, well, you're conceited or you're this or you're that,
Yeah.
right? Just because you held yourself with a high self-esteem. And I had to get over trying to please people, trying to play little, trying to be something different than I was, because it made me unhappy, right? I didn't want people to dislike me, so I had to, whatever I had to do.
Right.
But
just
then
so you can feel good.
right, when
Okay.
I realized that self-love is essential, and either you're going to love me as I love myself, or you're just not going to be a part of my life, right? So it wasn't that I had to say, well, Tina, you got to change and stop doing this for people. What I said is that you have to love yourself enough to show up authentically you.
That's
right,
the key.
Right?
There.
And the things that you know
Mm-hmm.
that are your shortcomings, you have to find a new way to express them and do them where your beliefs shift, where your mindset shifts, where your understanding and the way you view something shifts. Right? So Jason, I mean, we all know this, right? We can all be sitting in the same room, listen to the same conversation and get totally different accounts.
Versions.
Of,
For
exactly,
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's all perspective.
Yep.
So now instead of looking at the perspective of it's a struggle and I have to change and I need to change and this person wants me to change, it's now we're shifting the perspective that I understand that the change must occur and I must do the things that are in alignment with what I want and what makes me happy. And when I start to do that, the way I view other things will really start to shift and change. Then I'll be able to see the things that are negative that really, it's like once you're aware, it's like once you're awake and once you realize something, now you can be more in tune to changing it. But if you're not in tune and you're not seeing it, then it doesn't matter what you say, the change is not going to occur.
True. I had to take some water on that.
I know. Go ahead. Can you read, Dennis, please?
I can't. I was.
All right.
Go ahead, read that
Let me
side.
say, yes, indeed, because trying.
For someone else is not a guarantee of happiness for them.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. If it's not for me and my happiness.
I'm possibly expecting. Excuse me.
What's wrong with your voice?
It just went down the wrong pipe. My happiness, I'm possibly expecting the unexpected because
What someone says they need and want can change, yes, with whatever they are experiencing in their present situation. So I'm focused on myself and not focusing on someone else's perceptive. I think he meant
perspective.
maybe
Perspective
he
of-
meant perspective of what I need to change to make. You moved the thing.
Yep, I sure did.
To make my life happy. I think that's what it says because Jason shifted thing.
Yep. Need to change to make them
You
happy.
guys had
Right.
excuse, we shifted things, we
Yep.
changed things. So
Yeah, but we get the gist of it though.
yes, absolutely, Dennis.
And that's
absolutely.
true.
That is, it goes both ways. That is absolutely true, Dennis, because what I need you to change today may change tomorrow because now I've changed, right? So depending on what situation she's in and how she's feeling, she may think you need to change this and she may need you to need to change that. So exactly, but when you change yourself for you, and that's what I said, the key, change this. When you become a happy person,
Yep.
you experience a happier relationship because your view has to change. You cannot stay the same.
Okay.
Happiness takes on it. When you love yourself and you become happy and you understand the things that you need to do to make you happy, then it's easier to understand how to show up as a better person for someone else. Okay, let's see if Nancy explained that for me.
Yeah, let's see.
All right, thank you, Nancy. I realize I deserve the best in life. Absolutely. The best relationships, the best interactions, the best experiences life has for me. And changing me, developing me, loving me opened up so many joyous opportunities. I'm sure that's what she meant.
Yep.
Opportunities.
for me.
Right. So
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Opportunities for me.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Nancy. Absolutely. And that is if we go through nothing else for today, it is that understanding if you do this. And what is that this?
Yeah, that this is for you, right? Now we can't really say what this is, but we want you to get an idea, to think about what this is that you need to change so you can have the relationship.
The this. He's putting the this in quotes. So
Right,
the that.
this.
Whatever that this
The
whatever
that
your
this.
whatever your this is.
Right, whatever
We
you-
can't tell you what your this is.
Right.
Right. Just like
Now
you can't
I know
tell
the
me.
ones that we're coaching.
Right.
We can get down into the weeds of what
Right.
the this is. But
Right.
not in this setting.
Right.
So figure out
So
what
we
your
can't give you some generic
Yeah,
one size
right,
fits all.
because it's not
Exactly.
It's not. It's soul searching, right? It's finding out who you
It's
are.
so many
it's loving
different-
yourself.
It's
And
so many different elements that pertain to a person. Baggage, hurt, experiences, upbringing, parents, siblings, whatever, right? Experiences where if something really was impactful in your life, if
Right.
something turned your world upside down, what is the word I'm trying to use? It was traumatic. Thank you. I'm talking to myself.
You
If
had to because I didn't say anything.
You
Like
said it. You're right.
you
So
okay?
if something was traumatic in your childhood,
Mm-hmm.
and every time you think about it, you think and you feel the same way, that's an element, right?
Right.
Right? There's so many things that somebody's this can be, but the key to it is that when you understand that, as Nancy said, right, living your best life means having the opportunities to have the best relationships,
Yep.
the best, what did she say? The best interactions, the
Yep.
best experiences life has, changing me, developing me, and loving me. So, and that's what the book is all about too.
Yep.
Loving you, changing you, developing you, and that's what we're talking about, Dennis. Right? Dennis talks about I have to change me for me.
Right.
And that's right, because we can't tell you what you need to change.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we were up close and personal and we were coaching you and we were talking and we were going through it and kind of helping you decipher through the jungle, right? It would be
Mhm.
different. But right now, at this point that you have to change, and we can interchange, right? We can what is the word? Lord. Yep.
Yep. The train left again.
No, it didn't
Yeah.
leave. I'm trying to say, so when you interchange, I wanted to use the other word. When you interchange change and love,
Mhm.
so when you love yourself or when you change yourself, that's what I'm saying. You can use them,
Interchangeably.
the other word that means the same thing. But
Yep.
yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Yes.
Okay. But I want to say this before I forget.
But I'm sure Dennis or Nancy probably knows the word I'm trying to say.
Yep.
But go ahead.
So I love what Nancy said when she said, "I deserve the best life." Now, everyone don't feel that way. That's a huge aha, right?
Yes.
I
yes.
deserve the
Yes.
best life.
And if you can't say that to yourself right now, then that's one of your this.
Right.
Right? If you can't truly feel and sit with it, if you feel something uneasy in your soul that when you say I deserve the best life, if you can't say that with conviction, then that may be one of your this that you need to probably dig into and ask yourself, why do I not believe that I deserve the best life? Right? And I deserve the best relationships, and I deserve to develop myself and love myself. And when I do that, everything that is not right will change, and therefore your relationships, your marriage, your viewpoint, the things that you used to argue about, you don't need to, right? The tube and the toothpaste doesn't even matter.
And we're not, and you know what? We're talking about relationships, but think about this. What if you change as a person? Your whole entire world changes. That's
Absolutely.
relationships at work,
Yes.
with your siblings, with your parents, with your children. All of these things change.
Yes, a lot of people hold on to the hardships of maybe or what their parents did to them, or my parents are the reason why this. But when you change and you love yourself and you're able to love through situations, because love truly does heal, and you're able to see things differently, then those things that used to hold you in chains and bondage no longer hold you. Now you're free to not only love yourself, but to love beyond the appearances and love beyond the situation and circumstances. And now you're able to show up as a different person in your relationship, which makes you even more lovable, because now you're able to give the love that you want to receive, and you're not looking for somebody else to love you where you feel like you're inadequate. I need you to validate me. You're already validated. You're stamped, you're signed, sealed, and delivered. That's what we're trying to get you to understand.
All right, we got one from Dennis here.
All right, Dennis says, change for myself first and not focus on proving my change. Absolutely, Dennis.
Yep.
Absolutely. Change will improve and attract what's for me, and I can be the best for them.
Yep.
You can be the best for you.
Right.
And they can be the best for them. And when you get together, you can be the best for each other. But accepting each other for who and what you are, and you continue to develop and improve by seeing maybe something else in someone else, right? If you see something in someone else, then that's telling you, well, maybe that's something I need to look at myself. Is that something that I don't like? Because really, somewhere that's in me. It's so hard for us to really to be open and honest with ourselves about things where we fall short of.
Of course.
But if we see it in somebody else, then maybe that's a time where we can actually kind of view it or explore it from a different, from maybe a little bit further, not so up close, and then we can kind of really dig into it.
You said something there. If you start to see things in people that you don't like, and you're like, man, I really see this in this person, it's the reason why you may be seeing it. So take a look at yourself and make sure that you're not expressing any of those type of characteristics in your own life.
You're projecting, right?
And you can't see it because a lot of times you can see things that's actually going on in your life and other people. So if you see that, I mean, that's like a shortcut way of really taking a look at yourself. Like, hey, you know what? I noticed this about this person. I really don't like that.
I hate the way he does this. I hate the way he does that.
Right,
I hate the way she does this. Or I hate the way she's always commenting.
That's a quick way to kind of take a look at yourself. So
all right,
let's
let's see
a quick
what Miss
tip.
Nancy said. Miss Nancy, sometimes the word change is perceived
In a bad way.
but change is just different, not good nor bad.
Right.
Amen.
Amen.
Bless you, my sister. Bless you, my sister.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Not good or bad.
No. So exactly. Change just means that there's something that's not working.
Right.
So we have to find a different way to make it work. If I'm not happy, I need to change something so that happiness can flow in and through me.
Right.
So exactly. So the word change doesn't mean good or bad. As Miss Angela said, change doesn't mean good or bad. Change just simply means that something needs to change. Yes, right?
That's
it's
it.
Something,
and it's nothing.
absolutely.
And don't think of change as something bad.
She just said change is different.
Right.
Change is different.
Right.
Right?
And it's not.
I'm different.
Right.
I'm different.
I want to be
different.
different.
Tina, exactly. I'm a different Tina now in 2023 than I was in 2020.
Yes.
Right? Or
for
even
sure.
in 2012.
Right.
Or even in back in 1987. I am a different person. And that's why when that thing came out and said a different world, is because it's not the world that we experience. It's something different.
Right.
And so, I mean, I couldn't have said it better, Angela. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for that.
thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Nancy.
See.
Thank you for all. Like, these are very good comments, and these are the things that help people to see things in a different perspective to make sure that they are becoming change agents in their lives. The change doesn't necessarily mean I gotta go find all my negative things that I'm gonna struggle with. And sometimes change isn't even difficult. Change can sometimes be so easy as just a thought, right? Thinking that it's not good nor bad, that just something that just needs to change. When we change our sheets, it's not that they're good sheets or bad sheets. Well,
Right.
sometimes there are.
They need to be changed.
But you just need to change it, right?
Right.
If we change our tire, it means that it's not working.
Right.
It's not working.
Something isn't working.
If our tire is flat, we can't keep driving around on it. It's the same thing in our lives, right? If something is not working in our lives, we have to change it so that it can work and do what we need it to do.
Right.
And whatever that change is for you, that's what we need to embrace. That's what we need to understand. Right? So it's not changing the other person. It's not changing the situation. It's you. What do I need to change so that this situation looks different to me?
Yep.
So it looks so different that now I'm loving on it and I can see it in a different perspective. I can see it in a different light. I can see it from a different view, and it looks totally different. Right? Looking at an airplane from out of the window when you're getting ready to board looks totally different when you're in the airplane and looking out the window.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's totally different. It's change. It just means different. Doesn't mean good. Doesn't mean bad. Doesn't make your mate bad. Doesn't make you bad. It just means something in the situation. Something in me needs to change. I need to love myself more so that I can change the things that I couldn't believe that I could change before. And I have to find a way to do that change and the change has to be in alignment and along the path to loving yourself. To loving yourself. And that's why, I mean, there's a ton of books that we could recommend, but I really, truly love this book,
Yes.
Mirror Work Works, because we're not taught to love ourselves.
Yep.
We're taught to prove people wrong. We're taught to love other people.
We love ourselves through getting someone else's approval about
Absolutely,
us.
Absolutely. And then we learn to not love ourselves by somebody else's expectations
Exactly.
or unspoken expectations or disappointments that they feel in us, right? That's not
Exactly.
love.
Right.
That's not love. So I love this book because it takes us on a journey of, it's a 21-day self-love experience. And if you don't have it, go and get it. It's Mirror Works by Greta Counts. It's on Amazon. I think it's $12, $15, something like this.
Yep.
Go get it. Go get it and start the journey on self-love. And when that changes, I guarantee everything in your life, world, and experiences will change. I mean, this is just an added plus to me because I'm already a changed person from, doing things, but in loving myself. And now this has just compounded it. It just added on top of it. It's like goodness on. It's like having a chocolate piece of cake and then putting some ice cream on top. The cake by itself is already good.
Yeah.
But when you put that ice cream and then you just put some fudge, right? And if you like whipped cream, add some so that's what it
And then
just
you put the
adds
cherry
on
on
top
top.
of it. It just adds on top of it. All right, so
Hold on, I got one on my head.
all right. I deserve to be my best person, and I deserve to be with someone who believes in me and my ability to be the change. I don't want or need to be seen as someone who only wants to stay in one place. I need a strong support system, not a devaluation system. All right, so Dennis, I love all of that. Absolutely. I love all of that. But what I wish that you would, what I would probably go back, bring up Dennis's statement before you go to anything else.
Okay.
But what I would soften and what I would leave out of the statements that as you're changing, all about you.
Yep.
I deserve to be my best person.
Period.
I deserve just you. Because what I'm hearing from what you're saying is I feel a little something from you, Dennis. I'm feeling a little something. I'm feeling that you're understanding, you're validating yourself, but you're also trying to do what you don't want someone else to do to you, if
Right.
that makes sense. So whenever we talk about change, keep it personal. Keep it personal. Keep it all about you. It doesn't matter what was said this morning. It doesn't matter what was said yesterday. It doesn't matter what happened. Right now, the only view you see in the mirror, Dennis, is Dennis. You it's not about another person. So you do deserve someone who believes in you, but that's not the key right here because when you're shifting your focus from you to saying I deserve to be with someone. Now you're shifting that focus on someone.
Right.
And what we have to do is realize that anything and everything that we do has to be for us, by us, about us, in us, around. It has to be us.
Yep.
I can't say, Jason, I'm upset because I deserve somebody who's going to love me better. Yes,
Right.
I do deserve someone who's going to love
Right.
me better. But guess what? I have to first love myself better.
Right.
So I have to start with saying, you look in the mirror and say, you know what, Tina? You deserve to be the best person. You deserve to love yourself the way no one else can love you. You deserve to change because you deserve my love. You deserve my love. I deserve my own love. Dennis,
Yeah.
you deserve your own love, and you're not giving it to yourself. You're not. Go give Dennis all the love he needs. Sit in the mirror and talk to Dennis and cry to Dennis and tell Dennis all the reasons why he deserves to be loved. If nobody in your life has ever told you why you deserve to be loved, you tell you. I deserve to be loved because I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be loved because I am a great person. I deserve to be and just keep going, go on and
Yep.
on because you deserve your own love first. And don't put anybody else in the equation. Absolutely.
Yep.
So let's go to the next thing.
Okay, cool. Yep. Hey, Sandra.
Was somebody after Dennis? No? Okay. Here's the difficulty I have. I keep getting frustrated because I want the other person to change. I can't read the bottom.
I'll give it to you right here.
All right.
Straight up insanity.
Sandra, I just love your comments. I just love your comments.
Yep.
I'm loving all of them.
And
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Dennis.
and
Thank you. You guys, but listen, the reason I love it is because you guys are helping other people. Do you think this is about you?
Yeah.
No, this is about like, share, and subscribe because you are helping other people who is in that same situation that is going, oh my God,
Mhm.
why won't this person change? And now they see that the person to change is not this person.
It's the one in the
It's
mirror.
Sandra says, I want the other person to change. Well, guess what, Sandra? The other person wants you to change too.
Yep.
That's the reality of it. They like, shh, I wish.
Ouch. You know that kind of ouch. You know, you want the other person to change, and the other person wants you to change.
They like,
Somebody got to start somewhere.
They are saying they wish you would get up off that horse that you think you on
Yeah.
and just
Change.
like, just shut up already and go do something about it.
And
Sandra,
be the change that you're seeking.
yes, Sandra, go get the book.
Yep. And read
Love yourself. We don't love ourselves enough.
it. And read it too.
Yes, we want other people to validate us. We want other people to tell us something's wrong with our mate. We want other people to say it's okay that that person left you, or it's okay that that person is not fulfilling you. It's not okay. It's not okay because you are looking outside of yourself. Be your own change agent. And as Nancy, it was
Angela.
Nancy or Angela. No,
Which
they
one?
said made me forget. But
Oh,
change is not. I think it was Angela who said it. Change is not different. I mean, change is not bad. It's not
Right.
good or bad. It's just different. Right?
Yep.
So Sandra, we know it's insane because we know insanity is doing the same thing, right? And expecting a different outcome.
Yeah.
And if you haven't changed, Sandra, baby, ain't nothing gonna change. Nothing is gonna change until you change your view, until
Wow.
you change your perspective, until you change the way you love yourself, because you're looking for someone to fill you up and validate
And-
what you want
and
them to do and be, and that person can't be that for you.
And I said this before. Even if they change, you still wouldn't be happy
Exactly, exactly.
because
exactly.
because you're not happy with yourself. They can give you everything that you want, and you still wouldn't be happy.
And you think that them changing is going to make you happy, but really it's what you're seeing and what you're feeling and not willing to let go of that's making you unhappy. All right, let's go to Dennis.
Yep. Dennis.
I love myself, but I never looked at
I know, right?
myself in. Okay, Jason has a thing at the bottom, guys.
Yep.
Okay, I love myself, but I never looked at myself in a very deep mirror relationship with myself.
Yep.
And Dennis, I'm gonna tell you, it's a whole.
It's a
when I went to
whole
go
different
look,
horse.
when I went and saw The Mermaid, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. It is a different beast, and it requires honesty. If there's at the women's conference, and then we're going to get up, right? At the women's conference, we had to actually we had a partner, we had to look at the person in the eye. Do you know how hard it is to look at someone in the eye?
And it was just
And then when
just a stranger, right? Not
yeah,
even. Okay.
just a stranger.
Okay.
You just picked a partner,
Yep.
and now she said, look at that partner.
Hmm.
And it wasn't just look at him. I think it was like 3 to 5 minutes. You know how hard it is to look at somebody for 3 to 5 minutes? Because the first thing you're thinking is, what are they looking at? How do they see me?
Hmm.
What do they see? What am I showing up as up close and personal to them? Right? You're not speaking. You're not doing anything. What do they see? So you're so worried about what they see. But it's the same thing. When I first looked at myself in the mirror, the first thing I started doing was criticizing myself mentally, because we're so used to looking at the outside that we can't love who we are on the inside. Right? And it takes, okay, y'all.
Yeah.
It takes it's a whole new world, Dennis. Go explore it. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, getting emotional, y'all.
Dennis said, "I can be 1,000 times a better human
better
being."
human being.
Well,
Absolutely.
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 Yeah. Once you understand and love yourself, you surely can.
It's not being better. It's about understanding that you just need to love yourself.
Actually, yeah, and
And when you love yourself, you love so differently.
right, and you know what? It's like life without training wheels, right? You're free to actually love yourself and express love and be happy with who you are. You can walk in, okay, if I'm different, but I'm happy with me. If I want to do this and it doesn't, I'm not affecting anyone else and it makes me happy, this is what I'm going to do.
And you learn how to do the things that make Dennis happy, but also understand that, hey, if I do this,
Mm-hmm.
it's not making somebody else unhappy. Right? So that's what we're always trying to please somebody else. But what we have to do is really take a look in the mirror. That's why they say, that's what Michael said. I'm talking to the man in the mirror.
Okay, here goes one.
All right,
here.
my
It
voice
says
again.
meaning I don't want to be devalued. I want to be respected and uplifted. Fine.
Who do you want to be respected by, Dennis?
Here's the answer: yourself. That's the only answer. That's the only answer that matters. So the answer to these questions or statements are you and yourself.
Only person that can devalue you is
It's
you.
you.
Only person that can disrespect you is you.
Right.
You show up to you, and if you don't value and love yourself, even if you say it, if you don't value and love yourself, if there is some insecurities down there that you need to say, Dennis, you are worth loving. If you are feeling devalued, is because there's something that you believe
Yep.
doesn't give Dennis value.
Right. And that's
You
what
know-
it is. You internalize that because you
Yes.
go, wow, you,
Yes.
you resonate with that, whatever it is. And you go, wow, that
Yep.
I'm going to
wasn't
sit with
the
it.
Right. I wasn't the smartest person. I'm
no,
not the
no.
most handsomest person. I'm not
But
the
you go
richest
back
person.
to loving yourself.
Yep.
Right? If you love yourself, you already know, but that's okay. I love myself in spite of.
Ain't no in spite. I love myself
Right,
because
but-
I'm worth loving. I
Right,
love
right, I
myself because
understand that.
I was created to be loved. I love myself because God loves me. I love myself because I am love. The truth is, I am love.
Right.
And until we can say that with conviction,
Yep.
then when you can say it with conviction, then you know that no one else can devalue you, no one else can disrespect you,
Nope.
no one else can dishonor you, no one
No one
else
else can push your buttons,
violate
get
you.
on your
Exactly.
nerves, none of those things. All those things that we utter all the time. Oh, you getting on my nerves. You
All
make
right,
me so
let's get
upset.
to the next thing. I would say you keep talking, baby.
Yeah, sure. Yep. Yes,
Yes.
not shifting blame. I'm saying I know and I hear my faults, but don't want to keep pushing the knife in. Yeah. Until you change my mindset of questioning myself. Got it. I understand.
Go
Yeah.
get the book, Dennis. Go get Amazon Mirror Works.
Yeah.
Start doing it, Dennis. I
Yes,
want
sir.
and come back to me and give me an update.
7 days. 7 days. 7 days. So he said, "Thank you, Jason," and then he said, "Thank you, Tina."
Tina.
Yep.
All right.
No. Thank you too.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank
Yeah,
you,
we
Dennis.
greatly
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Sandra. Thank you,
And-
Angela. Thank you,
and that's
Nancy.
what this
Thank
is
you
all
for
about.
all the viewers.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. And if you have comments after it has closed down, please make sure that you put the questions in, and we will try to respond with you. Because the whole purpose is this is not to. We've spent our whole life being conditioned about what we think relationships are.
Right.
We spent our whole lives not being taught how to have good, happy, successful relationships. We've spent our whole life being conditioned by someone else's expectation of what a relationship is. All right? So make sure that you leave us a comment. Can we get some likes? Where my thing at?
Yeah, I can get some.
All
more.
right. So
Okay.
make sure that you like, share, and subscribe this channel so that everyone else who is out there in a relationship or wants to have a relationship can at least get some information that's worthy to them, that can help them along this journey, because there's a lot of people out there that is just puzzling like, why, right? Let's provide some answers. Let's not be too scared to be that person that steps out on faith and say, let me ask this question. Also, we're going to, in the future, we're going to try to get where you can actually call in or something. No, I forgot what you said it was. Because some people they want to ask the question, but they don't want people to know who they are. So we're going to try to find a way to,
Okay, yeah, we can do call in.
yeah,
Yeah.
to do something so that your questions can be answered without people knowing who
So
you are.
But if you want a man up or girl up,
All
show
right.
up.
All right. Is there anything else?
No, I think that's it, baby. I think that's
Nothing else you
it. No,
want? All right.
No, I think that's it. I think we covered it all. So this that we're talking about to change your relationship, you know the answer.
That's right. Go find your this.
Go find your this.
All right. And that's it for the dynamic duo in marriage, Jason and Tina Marie. And as always,
We're in it to win it. Till next week, guys. Thanks for watching.
love you.